Welcome to Tower Defense Simulator, shortly known as TDS. TDS is a tower defense game. Tower defense games are strategy games that is mostly associated with the idea of building a defense that will keep your base alive for waves. Tower Defense Simulator was published around 2020 as it faces countless changes. Now you know what TDS is. I will show you how to play it in an effective manner. Press play, you will be immediately introduced to a pop-up screen asking you to play the tutorial, and it will reward you with coins and the Demoman Tower. I would highly recommend beating it, as these rewards can give a better start to your progression. When you load up in a match, you are greeted with 4 game modes. 2 game modes are locked away until you are high enough level. I will explain only one game mode to save time and to show you how to solo them. Let's start with easy mode. It has 25 waves, being the shortest game mode in the game. You don't need to be any level to acquire easy mode. When you start the game mode, you start 500 cash. But if you join the games group, you get 600 cash. You only have this much if you play solo. The reward you get for beating it is 300 coins, 50 XP, and a consumable crate most of the time, but rarely a time ticket. The crates have other types of rarity. If you beat easy mode, you also obtain a badge only if you beat it for the first time. Now let's talk about the boss. He has 15k HP and 2 attacks. The first attack, he digs down the floor, which summons enemies. The second attack, he stomps the floor, stunning all enemies around him, and every single boss has this attack in the game. Towers are your main method of defending against enemies as they attack for you. If you complete the tutorial, you have 3 towers. They are Scout, Sniper, and Demo Man. We will start with the very first tower, Scout. Now the Scout has 4 levels, and like the rest of the 3, he is free and easy to get. It costs $200 to place him. He is also a grounded tower. Scout is the cheapest tower in the game. At the start of the match, you can place 3 scouts if you join the group to get enough cash. Overall, a C-tier tower, he's alright, but the other 2 are better. Now the second early game tower is the Sniper. The Sniper is a cliff tower, which means he can only be placed on cliffed areas. He is a slower shooter and more expensive to place and upgrade, but he does more damage per shot than the Scout and has an impressive range which can cover most of a map. He also has 4 levels. He has better DPS than the Scout. Overall, a low B-tier tower, really good for a free tower and better than the starter towers you can buy with coins. Now the third tower you get from the start. Demoman? Demoman is a grounded tower. What makes him special is that he is a splash tower. Splash towers mean they can hit multiple enemies at once, which gives him the best AoE out of the rest. He does high damage per throw. The only downside is that Demoman has the shortest range out of the 3. He can have a higher DPS than all of them if he hits multiple enemies. He is a mid-high B-tier tower. He is better than the Sniper in some situations. Maps are a major thing you need to prepare, as bad maps or harder maps can make your matches impossible to beat with your current equipment. You may wonder what makes a map good to play. Simple, there are 3 things you must think about when choosing a map. Let's start. The first factor is the lanes. You should find a map with 1 lane, because double or triple lane maps have more enemies and have less cover area. Speaking of cover area, it is the second factor. What it means is how many towers are you able to fit in the map that covers the main roads, and a good map would also have good cliff space. This is vital, as if you lack space you won't be able to input enough DPS for stronger enemies. For the third factor, it's a looped map. I considered this more optional, but it makes your matches easier. There are some maps that have to follow a path that leads in a loop of the main road just to reach the base. This lets your tower have a second chance of attacking if you leaked. part is very important as bad placement can lead to losing the game. You should focus on two things during placement: range and space. Good range is having the tower able to attack as long as possible. This can be the edge of a road or in the middle of a looped map, whatever it is most of the time. You should do it. Onto space. If you're trying to get a bunch of towers at a spot, you should try to squeeze them in as much as possible. I recommend doing the edge of the road and adding towers up to the middle. That is all you need to know to start playing TDS. You are now ready. To spice things up, I have a competition for our Roblox players. The first one to beat Molten Mode, which is harder than Easy Mode, will be rewarded around 800 Robux. If you are interested, come talk to me or message me and I can tell you about the rules.